Dawn in 16th century Nuremberg did not carry the song of birds, but the rhythmic, heavy sound of the carpenter's mallet. To the crowd gathered in the town square, the massive structure of oak and iron rising at the center of the platform was a symbol of divine retribution, a theater of sacred pain. They saw the breaking wheel as a moral necessity, a bridge between a sinful life and a purged soul. But to a modern observer, armed with the laws of classical mechanics and material science, that wheel is not a religious icon. It is a shearing machine. It is a cold, calculated experiment in how to systematically dismantle human structural integrity. We often turn our eyes away from such horror, labeling it medieval barbarism. But in doing so, we ignore a profound technical mystery. How exactly does the human machine fail under extreme load? What occurs in the silent millisecond when the collagen matrix gives up and the mineral lattice shatters? If you are the type of mind that seeks the truth hidden beneath the surface of historical legends, where the elegance of biology meets the brutality of mechanics, you are in the right place. Before we delve into the forensic details of this mechanism, subscribe now to DaVinci Explains. Here, we do not merely narrate history, we perform a clinical autopsy of it. Join our community of rigorous curiosity. Today, we will not look at the breaking wheel through the veil of moral suffering or period drama. Instead, we are going to analyze the precise mechanics of the breaking point. We will dissect why the femur and the humerus, the pillars of our mobility, explode under specific impact frequencies, and how the engineering of pain was refined to exploit every microscopic design flaw in the human skeleton. Imagine the clock has slowed down. We are moving beyond the cheering crowds and entering the clinical workspace of the forensic physicist. We are going to dissect the final hour of a life, not as a narrative, but as a series of physical equations and irreversible biological reactions. To understand the execution, we must first understand the material being processed. The human bone is an evolutionary masterpiece of composite engineering. In the world of materials science, we compare it to high-performance reinforced concrete. Collagen fibers act as the rebar, providing the tensile flexibility to absorb shocks. Hydroxyapatite crystals act as the cement, providing the compressive strength to hold weight. This biocomposite is designed to last a century, supporting the relentless load of gravity while you run, jump, and thrive. However, every material has an Achilles heel, and for the human skeleton, it is the orientation of the load. Our bones are anisotropic. They are incredibly strong when force is applied axially, traveling vertically through the bone's long axis. In this direction, the femur can support several times your body weight without a single micro crack. But a wheel was designed to change the geometry of the game. The executioner did not strike at random, by placing the victim's limbs across wooden bars or the spokes of the wheel itself. He was transforming a biological pillar into what physicists call a simply supported beam. Physically, the executioner was shifting the load from axial to transverse. When force is applied from the side, the bone's resistance collapses by nearly 70%. What was once an indestructible column of living tissue is suddenly reduced to a fragile horizontal beam under extreme bending stress. In this orientation, the bone reaches its ultimate tensile strength almost instantly. It is a total negation of 3 million years of evolutionary design. We are built to stand, but we are mathematically vulnerable when forced to lie across a fulcrum. As the executioner brings down the heavy iron-rimmed wheel, or the maul, he is applying the fundamental concept of impulse adjustment. In forensic physics, the damage to a material is determined not just by the force of the blow, but by the extremely short duration of the contact. The shorter the time of impact, the higher the peak pressure. If the wheel weighs 30 kilograms and falls from a height of 1 meter, the kinetic energy at the moment of impact is staggering. When that wheel hits the diaphysis, the central shaft of the femur, the top layer of the bone is instantly compressed, while the bottom layer is violently stretched. For a few microseconds, the bone tries to deform elastically. It bends. It tries to dissipate the kinetic energy into the surrounding tissue. But there is a hard limit, the yield point. Once this threshold is crossed, the physics of plastic deformation takes over. There is no recovery. The bone does not just break, it undergoes a catastrophic failure. But here is the part that history ignores, the internal explosion. Because the kinetic energy delivered by the wheel is so vast and the impact so sudden, the bone cannot create a single, clean crack fast enough to dissipate the energy. This is a phenomenon seen in high-speed ballistics. Instead of a simple snap, the bone undergoes a comminuted fracture. It shatters into 30, 40, or 50 distinct fragments. From a materials science perspective, the bone has reached its saturation point of failure. The mineral lattice effectively turns into glass. The structure is no longer a support system. It has become a bag of internal shrapnel. We are now entering the deep dive into the hydraulic collapse of the human frame. If this level of technical detail is changing how you see the past, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. At DaVinci Explains, we transform the morbid into the measurable. Help us continue to bridge the gap between history and science by supporting the channel. The human body is not just a dry frame of bone. It is a complex, pressurized hydraulic system. When the bone shatters, it does not stay silent within the muscle. Those sharp, jagged fragments of hydroxyapatite become internal projectiles. Under the crushing force of the strike, these shards act as blades from the inside out. They tear through the quadriceps, slice the fascia, and most critically, rupture the vascular network. Imagine the femoral artery, a high-pressure hose carrying oxygenated life suddenly pierced by a dozen calcium blades. The result is an immediate collapse of hydrostatic pressure. This brings us to the reality of the pain. Let us dissect this objectively. Pain does not originate from the white marrow inside the bone. The true sensors, the nociceptors, are concentrated in the periosteum, the thin, highly innervated skin of the bone. By transforming one solid bone into 50 jagged shards, the executioner is essentially activating every single pain nerve fiber in that limb simultaneously. It is a data flood. The central nervous system is overwhelmed by an electrical storm so massive that the brain lacks the processing power to serialize the signals. This leads to a total systemic shutdown known as neurogenic shock. But the wheel was often designed for the long game. Often, the executioner would avoid the vital organs, focusing only on the extremities. This was to prevent the brain from shutting down too early. By maintaining a baseline of consciousness, the executioner ensures the processor, the brain, remains online to experience the total failure of its peripheral hardware. It is a state of systemic entropy, where the body's internal homeostasis is broken beyond the point of no return, yet the spark of life is kept on a flicker. The breaking wheel was, in essence, a masterpiece of reverse engineering. It understood that to destroy a complex system, one does not need overwhelming force. One only needs to change the orientation of that force and find the correct fulcrum. It transformed a biological structure designed for survival into a tragic collection of disconnected parts, simply by applying the right load at the wrong angle. Studying these moments is not about a cult of violence. It is about understanding the absolute fragility of our architecture. We are electrical machines running on a delicate system of pressurized fluids, sustained by a mineral composite that relentlessly obeys the laws of physics. When the physics of the world ruptures that system, biology always loses. The end is not a mystical event. It is a mathematical certainty. It is the material's inability to sustain the load. It is the victory of entropy over organization. The transition from a who to a what is not a point in time, but a terrifying slide down a slope of thermodynamic equilibrium. The truth is rarely comfortable, but science gives us the tools to face it without fear. It allows us to see the how behind the why. If you have followed this journey into the forensic reality of the past, you are part of a community that values the depth behind the surface of facts. Thank you for watching this installment of DaVinci Explains. Before you go, tell us in the comments, does understanding the physics of the wheel make the history more or less terrifying to you? Stay curious, stay rigorous, and subscribe for our next autopsy of the past. Your engagement helps us keep the lights on in the lab. History is what happened. Science is how it happened. And at DaVinci Explains, we never stop asking the uncomfortable questions until the next collapse.